So, we saw The Bikeriders last night. Let's discuss. Hi! I'm Garcia.
I'm Telly.
And we are the HercastleGirls.
Hi there.
If you like videos about movies, entertainment, pop culture,
yes,
lifestyle, this is the channel for you.
You, and you.
So you gotta go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Make sure to comment and like this video.
We saw The Bikeriders. If you haven't seen our review on the trailer, now's the time to go see it. You should probably watch that before you watch this, but either way, we went to go see it last night.
We did.
And, sorry, last night. We went to go see it on the 20th of June. I'll say
yeah, that's true. We saw it on the 20th of June. We want to take a little dive on, you know, what we think about this movie. Now, in order to truly speak to it, we are going to be spoiling it.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, if you don't want to know what happens, if you don't want to know any of the details, then...
this video is not for you.
Yeah. Come back after you've seen it.
Yeah.
However, if you don't care,
then you stay on board with us as we delve into The Bikeriders. What did you think, Car? Overall,
okay.
what did you think?
I think this movie, it's an artistic piece.
Okay.
It is not your conventional story film.
No. I agree with you. Film is supposed to take place over a decade, I think, from 65 to I guess 75 or wherever, a decade. So it's supposed to showcase this motorcycle club and the dramas that follow them throughout the course of Tom Hardy, who was playing Johnny, the course of him leading this motorcycle club from humble beginnings, you know, racing motorcycles and like dirt bikes and stuff like that.
Right.
And it grows into a massive motorcycle gang. So it's gone from club.
Yeah, it becomes like a franchise.
Yeah.
And that's what the film is about.
Yeah.
One thing I will say, I guess I'm gonna start from the beginning.
Okay.
I do have to say that I enjoyed the cinematography of this film. The way how it's shot is actually beautiful. You can see definitely that Jeff Nichols, he was pulling from his inspirations. Martin Scorsese, Goodfellas has been mentioned many times, and even just 60s film in general.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to say it's like a, you know, like an Instagram like grain.
Yeah, but there's that kind of filter.
Yeah, there's a filter-esque-ness to it, which actually, it was beautiful to watch overall as a film. I also liked how they just got straight to it. Like they didn't
they truly
beat
did.
around the bush to say, okay, let's start from when Johnny was born. Like they just got straight to the point.
Here are all the players.
Here's what they're capable of. And voila, opening sequence.
The opening,
it just gets to it.
Yeah, the opening sequence. Actually, the first, I would say, 15 minutes of the film are scenes that you've already seen on YouTube as bonus scenes. The scene where Benny is told to take his colors off, take his, you know, his jacket off, because he's in this bar and he gets beat up. That's literally the first 2 minutes.
That's right in the beginning of the film.
That's the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
That's the actual intro.
Yep.
Then we have when Kathy meets Benny at the bar. The vandals are hanging out. That's like the second scene.
Yeah.
Y'all.
Yeah.
Her riding on the back of the bike.
That's right behind
Benny
it.
in the night. That's like right behind it.
it.
So you've already seen about 15 minutes.
You've seen the film, basically. You saw the film during the trailers. And then after that, there's, you know, there's a lot of motorcycle riding.
Yes. So this is where, and there has been a lot of talk about this film not being what people expected. And I'm going to say this. When seeing this film, you do have to go in with the expectation that this is going to sound bad, but I don't mean it in a bad way.
No, yeah, no.
Nothing seriously overtly dramatic is going to happen. There was only a few things that were super dramatic in this film.
Yeah.
And that would be 2 characters dying. In the way it was done. It was done in a very quick, short way where you're like, oh shoot, okay.
Yeah, you definitely didn't see that coming.
No.
You know, you knew they were gonna die, but for some reason I thought it'd be more dramatic.
Right.
And it wasn't.
It wasn't. It was
dramatic.
Quick.
It was just quick.
And you're left
you
like,
blink and that's it.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
My issue with the film at some points was we have this setup, and we talked about this in our trailer reaction.
Yeah.
You have a setup where we have Tom Hardy, we have Austin Butler, we have Jodie Comer, and we will talk about their performances in a second. But you have these great actors.
Yeah.
You have this beautiful cinematography. You have motorcycles. You have this great ensemble cast.
It's a great
playing
cast.
The Vandals.
Yeah, it's a great cast.
So you're waiting for the drama. You're like, oh, they're gonna burn the bar down. Ooh, the police have shown up. Ooh, and
Which
then
is
what
great.
happens?
But nothing happens.
Nothing. After
the bar is burnt down. It just burns down. And the police and the fire brigade, they're all there. Everyone's watching it burn. And then you think, oh, okay, y'all, they didn't even put out the fire. It just went to the next scene.
Yeah, like, my issue is that a lot of things are left unsaid. For instance, Benny getting the ticket for running
the seven
red
lights and going through almost killing a cross guard.
Right. And Kathy was talking about how she had spent so much money on lawyers for Benny and things like this.
Bail and all this stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
But we never see that.
We never see their wedding after 5 weeks of dating. We never see that.
We never saw the dating.
We didn't even know they were. He was outside her house, girl. That
part actually made me laugh.
That was cute and
that was
interesting. Cute. That was fun. That was cute.
Like, well, it's
who wouldn't want Austin Butler to sing outside their house?
Just hanging out, waiting for your man to leave so he can step in.
So that he can step in. On the best.
To be honest, again, that is one of actually my favorite.
I liked it. I was like, oh, okay, Benny.
Hilarious.
Oh, this is sweet.
He's like, I'm just gonna hang out.
That's a man of. He's determined. Benny is a determined individual. He's a hobo, but he's determined. Ladies,
definitely a red flag.
A big red flag. The parts of them riding the bikes.
Beautiful.
It was beautifully shot.
Right.
Like, they showed like an open road.
Yeah.
You see like a little like light, and then all of a sudden it gets bigger.
It's beautiful. And the sound is huge.
The sound is huge. It's almost like hypnotic.
Another beautiful part, speaking of the bike riding, is when Kathy is on the back of the bike with Benny.
Yeah.
And they take off because they had just met.
And that's what people do.
Right.
In the 60s, they just take off on a motorcycle.
Then you see the rest of the Vandals. They've been on the freeway for a while, and then you see the rest of the Vandals coming down the highway
shot beautifully.
And engulfing around Benny and Kathy, and they're all just riding together.
You know what?
I was like, okay, that's cool.
That was cool. Now you say that, I'm like, okay, that has so many, it's
very symbolic.
It's very symbolic, you know. Benny and now Kathy, who didn't even really want to be in this relationship, she
wasn't looking for a relationship.
She thought the man was gorgeous, but she did have a man.
Yeah.
And the way how the group, even when spoiler alert, if you haven't got on already, even when Johnny is sitting with her after Benny leaves at the bar, and he's like, don't worry, we got you. I got you. We're gonna cover you. When that part happened with them, like, cocooning her and Jim and Benny, there was an E at the end. Her and Benny. It was like, oh wait, he really meant that. Like, in every way, Kathy, you are now in this family.
You're here,
whether you like it or not.
Right.
And so that now with you saying that, I just came to my mind now, saying actually, that was actually really cool. But then it just got to a point where there was almost so much motorcycle riding and just like emptiness. Like, there was parts where they're riding their bikes and it was cool for the first like 10 seconds, but then they're still riding their bikes and it shows the formation and they're riding down the open road and you're just like, yeah, that's cool. And then they go into a town and they're riding their bikes and they make eye contact with the kid that's inspired now by the Vandals, who wants to start his gang and join eventually.
Right.
And then they ride. So after that scene's gone, they're still riding, girl. They're showing them ride.
Yeah.
For a solid, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, I get it. Like, I get it.
Yeah. And there were also a lot of parts of them just chilling in
chilling
different parks.
and them like talking and a music video.
Michael Shannon.
Yeah, his monologue was actually
the monologue around the fireplace. Actually, a lot of his speaking parts in general,
or all of them, were amazing. He
told these
fantastic
stories, right?
He was fantastic.
And he really gave a purpose as to why they're chilling in the park.
Yeah.
If he wasn't talking in the park, though, it was kind of like
no one else was really talking. At least talking out.
Right. They're just partying.
Zipko, that played by Michael Shannon. He was giving these stories, and the story that he told around the campfire with why he wanted to join the army, it really couldn't get in.
They said that he didn't have the potential, or he wasn't good enough.
And it just shows too how a system will ingrain something in your mind so much. All he wanted to do was belong to something, and he wanted to serve his country. And what does one do when your country is pretty much saying to you, you're not worthy to serve me. You're not worthy to be a part of fighting for me. You're not worthy. Like, you see where it's just a little window into where all of them are coming from. These are all rejects. They're people that were rejected, done wrong, they were done dirty, and all they have is each other.
Yeah, and that was, looking beyond. That's the meaningful part of this film, is that these are a bunch of misfits who have found each other and are just trying to make a way for themselves, creating their own society. Yeah. And it seemed to be working until it wasn't.
It was good until it wasn't.
The Vandals becomes like, I basically call it franchise.
Yeah,
they have it all over the
Wisconsin,
US now.
Everywhere.
And a lot of people are coming in that aren't nice.
I want to bring in some very, illegal things, racketeering and all this, which is completely opposite of what Johnny originally wanted for the club. And then you kind of see Johnny sliding down this slope where it's like, wait a minute.
He's also becoming this dangerous guy.
He's becoming a dangerous guy.
To the point where even Benny's like, is this what we're about now?
Yeah, because it happened like so quick.
It did.
I mean, I know that in the movie they make it look like it's all like, from Monday to Tuesday, basically.
Yeah, and that's the only thing too. Because the film, the way how it's shot, it is really jumping from year to year, back to this year, back to the other year, back. So that could be confusing for some people if they're not fully paying attention.
One good way to try and keep track of the years is Kathy's hairstyles. You're like, oh, okay, it's late 60s, it's mid 60s, it's the 70s. Yeah. So that kind of helps. But if they weren't changing those wigs, what did you think of the performances?
Start with Jodie.
Yeah.
I thought going into the theater, I was like, this accent's gonna drive me wild, man. But it did not. It actually became very organic to me for her to speak this way. So because of that, I say go girl. She killed it.
I thought I would have a problem understanding her. I was like, if I ever needed subtitles, it's now. But I agree, when it first starts, you're like, oh well, this is gonna be entertaining for me, girl. But yeah, and the more she talks, the more you completely understand what she's saying. And you're like, geez, Jodie, you really are the queen of accents.
And I felt for her.
Yeah, I felt bad for her.
When things were happening to her, like, trigger alert, there is a time where she's
taking advantage of.
Where she was taken advantage of, almost being, attacked. And
taken upstairs. That was horrible.
And I'm sure everyone in the theater that was seeing this,
it was horrible. Like, you wanted us to dive into the scene and just help her get out of this
and save her
situation.
from these guys.
And it was sad is that they're vandals, they're new, younger vandals, and it's just like,
and she didn't, she was at this party. The Vandals are having a party. She got this red dress. It's a whole thing how she got this red dress. And I think, here's the thing that was interesting about that scene. Yeah. I think that she wanted that dress because when her and Benny were sitting there chilling, they were both looking at this girl dress. Wearing the red dress.
Yeah, she's there dancing.
And I think that when she got hand of the red dress, she put it on, and she put it on so that Benny could see her.
In that dress.
And he said, you look really pretty, or you look so pretty, something along those lines. Yeah. And, she was like...
She was happy that he
noticed her. And noticed her. And then this thing happens to her. And because of another incident that happened,
Benny was nowhere to be found.
Benny was not there because he was sent to go do something by Johnny, who ends up saving Kathy from being violated.
Yeah, you start to feel really bad for Kathy because she's trying so hard to...
She's a patient.
To work with Benny, who doesn't want any responsibility. He makes it clear, he doesn't want to be responsible for anything. He just wants to live his life with just him and his bike.
He doesn't even want to lead the gang.
He doesn't even want to lead the gang. Yeah, and he doesn't...
The club, he doesn't want it. He barely wants his marriage.
All he wants is his bike. That's it.
I think that this is her first kind of like big movie.
I think so. I'll have to double check that.
Or at least this is the longest press junket she's ever done.
I'm sure of that.
Austin Butler next.
Austin did a fantastic job.
Austin.
He did a lot without saying much.
Yes. So let me tell you about Austin Butler.
He said a lot without saying anything at all.
Right. The more you see him act, the more you're like, oh, that's your thing. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And he's becoming, this is just me and everybody can disagree, but he's so good at movement. And, I know, yes, and Elvis, obviously, you had to.
Not that kind of movement.
But what I noticed about Benny is the way how he walks and the way how he kind of carries himself.
Yeah, there's a scene, or the scene's out there, everyone's already seen it, where he's playing pool.
Yeah.
And Brucey, rest in peace, he is reading out the newspaper article that talks about, all the violations he's committed while driving his bike. And there's a part where Benny is listening, but he's not, you would think he's not paying attention. But then when Johnny asks him, how many red lights did you run? And Benny says, well, they said 7, meaning he heard every single word that Brucey said. But there's a thing with Austin in all movies where he does silence so good.
He does.
And this is totally off topic, but we mentioned Elvis. The scene where Colonel Tom Parker is saying, I will have to leave you.
Right.
And the way how Austin goes, and doesn't say anything, just his face.
Right.
He's very good at saying a lot with his face.
With his face.
And with his movements and his reactions. Right. So because Benny is not a man of many words, he's just a firecracker.
Right.
You see when he's mad. You see when he's sad.
Yes.
You see when he wants nothing to do with it.
He's ignoring. He's like, I'm pissed off.
Yeah. You see when he's interested. Like the eye contact he holds with Kathy's character when they first meet. You're like, oh sheesh.
Right. It's like
I feel this. And I'm not even in the film.
Exactly.
What? So he's fantastic.
He did a great job. I think this is again showing us what a great actor he is. I just need to say this, that every time he cries in a movie, I want to cry too. Like
this man is great.
He's very good at crying.
He digs to a certain place, and I'm sure that's where.
To give him tea and wrap him up in a blanket and say it's okay and kiss him on the forehead
and give him a teddy bear.
Yeah, and make sure he's okay. I think that this was a great role for him. Benny was a very interesting character.
He was. He's like a cool case study. It's like you want to know, like the only thing is like, I wish they had little flashbacks of all of their lives to show where they're coming from.
Because the characters are so strong, you want more, right? But before I go into that, Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy, he brought it. He did so, oh wow, so good.
Tom Hardy
was just
reminded us of his film. Genius.
I mean, everyone knows, most people, especially the younger crowd, they know him as Venom,
or Bane.
Love me some Bane. Or Legend. He played Al Capone for one of those things.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic character actor. He knows how to put his mind into things. Inception. Listen, y'all, this resume.
A great actor.
He was fantastical in this film.
He immediately gives you that sense of leader. He's
the leader of the pack.
He established himself as a leader.
Yeah.
The relationship between Johnny and Benny is also very interesting because it's not a father-son relationship.
No.
It's not that.
It's not.
And I did hear that Jeff Nichols said he was working very hard to make sure it wasn't, because he said he's so familiar with this father-son
territory.
Yes, he's done it in films before, and he said he wanted this relationship to come across differently. It does come across more as a brotherhood relationship. Maybe some would even say a loving, intimate relationship.
They did say, that this is the love triangle. Benny is torn between his wife, who wants him to leave the club and save their marriage, and then he has Johnny, who wants to give him the club and continue riding bikes. The part where Johnny, through that beat up scene, he gets his foot broken in. You've been warned, it's a horrible way of how it gets broken. But anywho, he goes to visit Johnny at this motel that him and Kathy are staying at, and his thing is, he's in his cast, and he's, Johnny's telling Benny, you should come out for this 3 week ride, and Benny's like, yeah, and Kathy's they're like, do you not see the big old cast on your foot
that you're supposed to wear for the next 6 months?
You feel for Benny in a way where he's literally torn between two loves. And yes, I know that that's what Jeff really wanted to showcase. When Johnny sees Benny and Kathy together, you automatically see on his face that he feels, this girl's trying to take my man. Johnny is saying, you're trying to take my man. So he goes and introduces himself to Kathy. And it's like, hello. Like any girl that sees, most women that see their guy talking to a very beautiful young lady, and the guy, leaves, most women will go up to that girl and say, hello there.
Right.
Yeah, he's my boyfriend, he's my husband. And that's basically what Johnny was doing.
Yeah, the setup is there, and Jeff Nichols did such a good job at setting up this world.
Yeah,
and
it's an awesome world.
My overall thought on it is, I wish there was more. I wish we got more from this world. That's all I'm saying.
It has the Goodfellas concept, but it missed the mark, and I was like, well, when we went to go see it, after leaving the theater, we were like, okay, I get it now. Yeah, I get it. Awesome setup. Fantastic setup. But it's just things that you wish that they expanded more on.
Yeah.
But like you said in the beginning, Car, if you're into just seeing a bunch of beautiful motorcycles that are retro, like 65, 68 motorcycles, some very cool biker core fashion.
Yeah.
If you're into that and into the culture of brotherhood and stuff like that, this film is entertaining.
It's entertaining, you won't be bored. For that.
Yeah.
People have compared this to Almost Famous. Almost Famous is one of my favorite films.
Fantastic film.
I would not compare it.
No, because Almost Famous.
And I'm not gonna say Almost Famous is. I'm not gonna say it's better. But Almost Famous kind of gave us more of the storytelling and consequence of what happens through the story.
Yeah.
As in where Bikeriders is more like, I heard a bit of a story from you,
and then you heard it from
someone else, and they're like, "Oh well, yeah. Did you hear so and so? Yeah, they did this. Oh, did you hear about that? Oh yeah, that.
Yeah.
Like there's
no direct line. The dream and the vision was there. Jeff clearly wanted to get this story out. For the photo's sake and for the vandal's sake, I'm glad they did, because it is an actual cool film. Would we say that it's like Goodfellas? No. Is it gonna be groundbreaking? Are you gonna come out with a message in your mind to start a gang that's ripping up the road with bikes and stuff? No, not really.
We're going to leave the theater saying, you know what? Tom Hardy is an amazing actor. Austin Butler is a beautiful man. His face belongs on the camera.
He was made for cinema. And all these people are made for cinema.
Jodie Comer is super talented, and I can't wait for her next film.
You'll say that.
Those are the things.
But you're not going to come out with this grandiose idea of what is my life.
Out of 10?
Out of 10. Now this is kind of crazy because I know Rotten Tomatoes gave it an 86%, because the actors are phenomenal. The acting is great. But out of 10...
The movie overall.
I give it a 7.
Yeah, I say 7.5. The acting?
The acting was amazing. If it was just the acting alone, 10 out of 10. Even see it for that.
Right, but for the story...
The story?
7.5.
7. for the story. I just wish that they just had better extremes. Like what happened after.
Expand upon what you've shown us.
Yeah.
Another spoiler, even though this entire video has been spoilers, get ready to see Austin in sideburns once again.
It's like Elvis won't leave this man alone. You know, because now, well, spoiler alert, he's now working for his cousin, y'all, in Florida. And Jodie, their marriage is saved. That's one thing that came out of this. Go see it. Go ahead and see it.
When it starts streaming,
go watch it. Yeah, you know what?
It's already being advertised as coming soon on Apple TV.
Yeah, so if you don't live near a theater, or if you just don't really think it's your vibe, then definitely wait till streaming and definitely do check it out. It's worth checking out. That's for sure.
So those are our thoughts on Jeff Nichols, The Bikeriders. Please go ahead and see it. Let us know what you think about it.
Maybe we missed something.
Maybe we were wrong.
Maybe we missed something.
But let us know your thoughts on it. And of course, if you like movies, if you like entertainment, if you like pop culture, if you like just entertainment in general, this is the channel for you. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe to our channel. We are the HercastleGirls, and thank you so much for watching. We really do appreciate it.
Till next time, everyone. Bye.